meditating from a younger age is weird, whereas partying and drinking and going out is cool. Whether you're on social media or you're not, you're constantly feeling like you're missing out on something. What if the narrative changed? Your mind, your brain constantly working. There's no rest, because rest does not equal to the hustle culture.
Unless and until you don't get pain,
Yes.
you're not going to get the motivation to push yourself up.
Suffering is what we've been taught.
Why do you think that people often connect busyness with purpose?
A lot of people have now made purpose into a hustle culture as well.
So what does actually manifestation mean?
Certain things we don't have to stay unfiltered.
Yeah.
Certain things we have to filter out.
Are angel numbers a sign from the universe or a coincidence? Most people don't even realize they are running from silence, from stillness, from themselves. We celebrate hustle, we crave noise. But when the lights are off and the scrolling stops, what's left with us? My guest today is Dimple Dhalwani, someone who spent over 16 years not just talking about healing, but living it. This is not a conversation about wellness. This is a conversation about waking up. Welcome, Dimple.
Thank you so much, Devyani. I'm really glad to come here and be part of Unfiltered Conversations.
What do you think about the whole segment? You've seen this, so we would love to know a feedback before we start about Unfiltered Conversations.
You know what I love about Unfiltered Conversations? It is unfiltered. It is raw. It is giving you insights into your daily life without it really being coaching, learning, or something like, oh my God, I have to listen to a podcast and get something out of it. So it's very flowy, it's very natural, and it's something that at the end of the day, when you finish watching the episode, it's changed you some way, but you don't know how. And that's the beauty of change. Along the journey, you just change, and it's beautiful.
I think coming from you means a lot. That's why I asked you for the feedback, because this helps us as a team to constantly work on the feedbacks and then improve on that. So that really matters when a guest comes and talks about it. And I've known you for years, so this was really something which I love about what you bring. Now, going into the depth of, the emotions, and me also wanting to share so many of things which I've been going through.
Right.
It's like a personal take, but something which will kind of reflect on what we want to do. I constantly see around me that people are constantly doing something,
Right.
And we are so uncomfortable of the stillness around us.
Yes.
Why does that happen?
So, Devyani, let me say it's one of the most beautiful questions you've asked me to actually start with, because the main reason why we're constantly addicted to doing something all the time and we don't want to stay in stillness, it's because the number one reason is the dopamine release. Like when we're constantly doing something, we are stimulated.
Yes.
We want to do something all the time. And this is the result of social media. Prior to social media, we still weren't constantly on our phone. The thing is, even if you're not on social media and you are just using the phone, the light is constantly telling you that there is something happening. So what is then happening is it's the need of doing something all the time. So if you're scrolling, like if this is your phone, like let me just give you an example. If this is my phone, I'm talking to you. Yeah. So I'm not even able to hold a conversation because I'm constantly doing something along with it.
Correct.
That is the number one reason why I feel we are uncomfortable with stillness, because we've got addicted to doing something around us. It could mean just being on a phone and having a conversation. The next thing is FOMO. We all know about FOMO, fear of missing out. So what is happening is, whether you're on social media or you're not, you're constantly feeling like you're missing out on something. We're being bombarded with information from everywhere. So when you're being bombarded externally with information and internally, also there's a mechanism within you. It's not that that mechanism is completely shut. Yes, you could be less tuned to it because of your external, noise and environment, but there is something internally happening as well. So there it goes. There's external communication, there's internal communication. So there's constantly something happening. So even when you try to sit still, this used to happen to me back in the day.
Correct.
And anyone would be like 5 minutes, and I'm like, 5 minutes is so much time. Like, how are we going to stay still?
Yeah.
But it's the practice of, you have to develop this practice now. I'm not going to say it's easy anymore because we're constantly stimulated.
Correct.
But we have to ensure that sitting with our stillness is making ourselves comfortable within us.
True. Yeah.
So these are the reasons why we're constantly wanting to do something.
That's beautiful, because we don't often reflect on the things which we are subconsciously doing, right?
Yes.
Like it's constantly doing something and we don't realize. And we start forgetting things because of too many things happening.
Correct.
My next question would be, I also notice that when someone is not drinking or someone is meditating, for personal reasons, or they feel good about it.
Correct.
The society or people, sometimes majority of them, think it's extremely weird. So is it because someone doesn't know how to confront their silence or confront themselves in the silence, or what is it exactly?
So number one, I would credit it to marketing. The way we are watching the things that are being sold to us.
Correct.
So it's cool to go out partying. It's cool to go out and drink. It's cool to go out and get drunk. But how many people are actually saying it's cool to go out there and meditate? It's cool to go out there and, let's say, take a day off and attend a retreat. Is that being marketed? No. So what is happening is, whatever we are watching that is being marketed to us, that is being sold to us in a way that the advertiser wants us to know, is what we're getting used to it. So that is why when you say, is it weird? It's because if I'm going to tell you to sit and meditate today, you're going to be like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I have better things to do. And when you ask them what are the better things to do, they'll be like, okay, we can go out partying, drinking. And let me tell you, I'm not saying that partying and drinking is bad or partying and drinking is not good. The idea is, whatever is being marketed to us in a particular way, we are already being conditioned. So the conditioning that we're growing up to, the conditioning that we're even giving out to the future generations to come is this, that meditating from a younger age is weird, whereas partying and drinking and going out is cool. What if the narrative changed?
That'll be so cool.
What if today I tell you, meditating is equally fun. You can even go out and party, it's equally fun. So what is happening is, when somebody will come out there and change the narrative, then we will not feel it weird when people say that meditating is not cool.
Do you think Gen Zs are applying that heavily?
I wouldn't say heavily, but I think there's a huge change that's coming around because the Gen Z, I would like to say, grew up at a better speed. If that is the right term, I would like to say, because they were introduced to social media much before.
Correct.
So what happened is, they realized that, okay, this is not the only thing that's going to take us ahead. We need to remove some time. We need to spend some time in silence, even if it means just sitting out there having coffee by the water side or by a tree. That 5 minutes of just being to yourself consciously without the distraction of the phone or a conversation is what I feel Gen Z is really heading towards. And that's great, because the younger generation is also going to bring a change in the narrative.
Absolutely. And rightly said by you, in terms of advertising, I have seen right now a movement of wellness, fitness, lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, sustainability kind of on the rise.
Yes.
inclusive of, the Western celebrities promoting it.
Correct.
In their age. So I see a positive shift, but it has to be collectively, like you said, that it has to be inculcated in the mindsets
Yes.
Of everyone. Now, whenever we are in the social media frame, you have been in the content industry
Correct.
for a very long time. You've seen content up and close. We know how to bifurcate from, not getting too much attached to that content.
Correct.
Right? Just dealing with it. So whenever we see that the content we consume is consuming us.
Yes.
And that has been the cases with most of the people.
Yes.
What is your take on it?
So, again, to answer that, first I would say, is content consuming us? Yes. And are we consuming content? Also, yes.
Yes.
Now, the answer is yes to both. The way we have to look at it is, what is it that we want to consume?
Correct.
You cannot consume everything, because what happens is, it's a classic example. If you're going to overeat, you are going to have a bad stomach. It's the same way.
Yeah.
If you're going to overconsumption is also going to lead you to having a very unhealthy and unfit mental, physical, and emotional health. And why I'm saying that is because all three are connected.
100%.
So it can start affecting when actually you're consuming content in right amount, knowing what is good for you. So let's say you enjoy a particular kind of a hobby, and you're following that on your socials, or you're following it, anywhere else. It's what you like, it's what you want to consume.
Correct.
But tomorrow if I get up and tell you, Devyani, maybe I'm trying out this, would you like to try it out? You'd be yes. But when you've decided that this is not what you want to try, but you're continuing to do it because it's herd mentality.
Correct.
That's when content starts getting consumed.
Yeah.
And we are consuming content then, and content is also consuming us. It's the two sides of the same coin. So understanding our likes, our dislikes, and what we enjoy is enjoying content. You can experiment with content, but at the end of the day, you need to draw a line and know what to consume and what not to consume. So in order for you to not be consumed by content, you need to know that less is more. And moving forward, you're in the advertising world, you know it, that the latest trends have already moved to less is more.
That's true.
So, we are in that generation, that world already where the trends are less is more. So clearly, we have to ensure what works for us and what doesn't work for us, and knowing when to switch off. Like, this is not for us, thank you so much.
Yeah. There was one question constantly popping in my head, interconnecting my previous question of being not okay with the silence within ourselves, and connecting it to the consumption of the content.
Right.
Usually when you are sitting at home in the night time, now it's become like everyone is a nuclear family, or young generation has shifted to cities, they are alone. We had an epidemic of loneliness also, which was talked about heavily by WHO. I was just trying to interconnect these dots and seeing that whether loneliness has to be a bigger picture of higher consumption of this kind of content which soothes us. I've seen trends where people are indulging into content which is like just observing someone doing some random unnecessary which doesn't make sense kind of thing, and the night you're observing those videos which don't make sense
at all.
So is there a deeper pain involved in the current?
So to answer that, sometimes it's not pain. Sometimes it's just you don't want to confront your shadow self. So it could be pain, it could be non-confrontation of shadow self, it could be of you getting scared of silence because you're so constantly addicted to something happening around you, to the noise. That silence feels disturbing. It feels, the space where there's nothing happening. So you're constantly, your mind, we are in a hustle culture. So when there's silence, it's like, oh my God, I'm not doing something. Oh my God, is there something wrong with me? Oh my God, am I wasting my time? I'm supposed to be productive. I'm supposed to do something. So even in the night, your mind, your brain is constantly working. There's no rest, because rest does not equal to the hustle culture.
Yeah.
So that is where, when you say people are uncomfortable with stillness, it's again a narrative, because we've got so used to the hustle culture that even in the night, let's say the next morning we have a presentation, in the night we're constantly looking for more ideas. How can we make this better? How can we do this better? How can we present it better? We need to be this, that. So competition is somewhere taking us away from stillness, because had we to move towards collaboration, then we know, okay, everyone is going to give in their best. Whereas competition goes like, I need to do better than this one. I need to prove myself. I need to do this and I need to do that. So it's a constant rat race. And then again, we lost it because we don't want to stay still, because we're like, we have to do better.
100%.
And I also believe another thing is, everyone's really busy throughout the day. And in the night, the time that we actually need to, just the body phase goes into resting.
Correct.
The body is just like how the sun goes to rest in the night and the moon comes out. Our bodies also have to go to rest. But our body can be physically, we can be at rest, but mentally, are we at rest? No. Emotionally, are we at rest? No. Because at that time, when you're doing nothing, when you're about to go to bed, the things that are not dealt with are now coming forward.
Surfacing on.
Yes. And that's where people say silence is scary. Silence is daunting. We don't want to be alone. So it becomes lonely because they don't have anyone to share it with, which is why you've seen the rise of counselors, therapists, helplines, because people, like you rightly said, are living in nuclear families. Also, people are scared to share with someone because it portrays them as something's wrong with me, and I cannot be portrayed as someone that something is wrong with me,
That's so true.
So that whole perception, that mindset is again what makes us very scared to confront a silence.
And I think if you really want to grow in life, if you really want to be someone who you've wished for yourself, you have to make peace with the beautiful alone time which you get with yourself, because that's how you'll truly understand your intentions of what you want. And that silence is so beautiful that you really understand and connect with your intuition and what it's guiding you to do.
Yes, that's
true. If you don't have that, you are going to be, like you said, herd mentality. You are going to just do the thing which others are doing, and after 20 years, you might just regret it. Why didn't I listen to my intuition?
Correct.
Taking me to the question which I've always been wondering, that we often right now romanticize healing.
Yes.
Like, healing has been such a larger part of the conversation, and I'm so glad that people are talking about it. People want to heal. People are taking effort to do that. But person to person, Dimple, what does healing truly mean?
Devyani, I'd just like to break this down in simple words. Healing is nothing but telling yourself that you've got this. I'm just going to put it so simply. It's you've got this. Because when we sit down and we heal through whatever way, you could heal through crying, you could heal through a conversation, you could heal through an energy session, you could heal through joy. Nobody's speaking about healing through joy, because suffering is what we've been taught. Unless and until you don't have suffering, you cannot heal. But that's not true. Today you can be happy and still be choosing healing. Why? Because you know that when you heal, you let go of things that are not needed. So you're keeping your energy clean. It's as simple as that. Healing is like every morning you get up and sweep your home. Healing is that, sweeping yourself.
Feeling good about
feeling good. So would you want to stay in an in a home environment which has dirt. No. So similarly, healing is you are sweeping your own energy out. It could be mental healing, emotional healing, physical healing, or even spiritual healing, like some people go deeper into their practices. So healing is nothing but sweeping off energy that is not wanted by you. And that's why I'm not using the word dirty. I'm just saying energy not wanted by you. Because when we create a design, there are certain design elements that, you know, we like, okay, we can do with it. It's nice, but we can do with it so that it looks beautiful and crisp.
Correct.
So that's exactly healing. There could be energy that's there, but do you really need it? No, let's let it go and let's make it light. Let's make it beautiful. Let's make it more presentable here for ourselves. So the reason why healing is also romanticized right now is, I would say, people are using it as an easy path out, as an escape route, that, okay, I'm going for a healing session and I'm going to be fine. Healing is the start of the journey.
Wow.
It's like, when you start the journey, you need healing, but to be on that, you need to start confronting yourself. You need to come back into silence. So everything is leading you to silence. So healing is step one towards reaching silence, towards connecting to the GPS of your own self, which is your intuition.
Wow, that was beautiful. I mean, it just connects at such a deeper level that it can be so simple as doing the things which you love on a day-to-day basis, and it's healing you.
Yes.
In corporate culture, in, you know, various setups, it's always like I pointed out in the beginning also, that it's been advertised or it's been conceived that unless and until you don't get a struggle, unless and until you don't get pain, you're not going to get the motivation to push yourself up.
Correct.
To grow yourself up. Like, the comfort kills that motivation, has always been talked about. And moving on to that question, which I really feel is very important, that why do you think that people often connect busyness with purpose?
So Devyani, this is a very interesting question. Lots of layers to it, but to keep it short, like you said, busyness. I wouldn't just term it to the corporate culture. Let's call it the hustle culture. So the hustle culture has kept us so busy that we are constantly thinking this is our purpose because we are into it. You know, we've given our time, we've given our soul, we've given our life to it. And we're enjoying it, is what we're made to believe, that we're enjoying it because it's giving us the material perks, the money, the fame, the success, whatever we need from it, it's giving us. So we feel like, okay, we found our purpose. But on a deeper level, what it's actually doing, the hustle culture and the busyness is like a mousetrap. When you want to catch the mouse, you're going to put cheese, you're going to set the trap up without you realizing. The mouse doesn't know it's the trap. The mouse is like, oh my God, food. So this is exactly what the hustle culture is doing. Oh my God, this is what you're going to get out of the hustle culture. And it never, never, never will tell you what are the things that you will not get with it. It's constantly saying, you know, your bucket lists. Your bucket lists are coming from there. Your materialistic needs are coming from there. It's being sold to you as this is what is life. This is what is going to give you that happiness. And this is eventually your purpose because you're going to be happy. So the thing is, when you have your purpose, you're going to be happy. But what happens is, when you get trapped, that's when you realize that, well, this wasn't my purpose. It was just me being part of being busy. And then the whole
the
cycle will restart as to how do I come out. But this is beautiful. What happens is, when you're trapped in the busy culture or in the hustle culture, it's you who have the power to break out of the trap. And the only way to break out of the trap is to work on yourself. So the trap is nothing but a mental prison. So when you start breaking out of the prison, and what is the prison? Your mindset, your thoughts, your conditioning, your patterns, your behavioral instincts. So once you start rewiring them, once you start working with them, you automatically realize that you're no more part of this trap. and you can easily move to your purpose. Having said that, yes, a lot of people have now made purpose into a hustle culture as well. So if you've got this purpose, instead of you enjoying it, why don't you make money out of it? Why don't you just convert it to your business? And then what happens? The stress that comes with, you know, your purpose being converted into a business, the business being converted into sales, sales moving into advertisement, numbers, profits, etc. Again, what you've done is your purpose is moved into a
jumped
rat
into the
race.
same.
Exactly. So it's different trap. Again, it's a different mouse trap again.
Correct.
But people still think, okay, we've got our purpose, let's align it. The thing is, you need to know what works for you. You need to know where to bring that alignment.
Correct.
So that is why busyness is equivalent to purpose. And sometimes purpose is equivalent to busyness. So it's, again, two sides of the same coin.
I absolutely agree with you. And while you were saying that, I have very contrasting interviews which I had gone through. In one of the interviews where Nikhil Kamath was saying that they were talking about the hustle culture and busyness of things. He said, I can't be productive more than 90 minutes of the day, which lets my team or let my company grow.
Correct.
And the rest of the time I spend on learning. That was his quote. And he was very honest about it. Cut to, there was a quote of people saying 42 hours are important for working constantly. I won't name them. Then there were like a lot of content on Twitter and all that going on around that. So I believe in honesty of what suits your schedule, what works best for you. You should follow that than following, like you said, a typical culture.
True.
And then the cage which you spoke about, the mindset cage which you spoke about. It's also, I feel that what will people say about me?
True.
If I break free of this trap? What will happen if I have committed to so many people? And what if I break free of this? What are the people going to perceive of them? And I remember like one of the beautiful things which Mel Robbins also said, that let them, you know? Just let them.
True. Very true.
So if you do that, like if someone comes and abuses you, if someone comes and says that this is what is, or if you change your path and there are comments on it, let them. It's them. It's not you.
Correct.
So that purity of your self-belief, I feel is so important, like you said. And these are the learnings which I'm constantly getting from you as we kind of progress in different areas of life.
Yes.
And you've been a part of the industry, the wellness, I wouldn't say industry, I'll say wellness space for more than 16 years. What is the thing which has never changed for you?
So this question is something I will not speak about just 16 years. The question
more than that, I feel.
You've asked me, if there's one thing that has not changed in the wellness space. It's not about this decade, last decade. It's about since the earth was formed, there is one thing that's always stayed, and it's our scriptures.
True.
It's the wisdom and the knowledge that we get through scriptures. It could be your Bhagavad Gita, it could be your Bible, it could be your Quran, it could be your Buddhist texts, or it could even be your Jewish texts.
100%.
Whatever it is, the only thing that hasn't changed is the wisdom and the knowledge that we've got with that. And it's being restructured, reframed, and sold to us based on our current understanding, learning, and journeys. So throughout through all the lifetimes that anyone has ever existed, it's the scriptures that are giving you the wisdom and the knowledge, and it's through that wars are fought based on wisdom and knowledge that's derived from from the scriptures. People base their business plans based on wisdom and knowledge that's derived from the scriptures.
Correct.
You are whatever today we talk modern spiritualism is, what is the basis? The basis is from the wisdom and knowledge that we get through the scriptures. It's only being reframed in a way that can be understood easily for us today, so that, it's more like, it's
more
saying
relevant, I
that
feel.
more relevant, but just saying better packaging.
100%, yeah.
Like if today I get up and tell you, you have to walk 100 miles and do, go to a temple, you're going to be like, I can take an airplane or a helicopter and visit that temple. Which is true, because in our generation, do we want to devote so much time? No. But do we still want to do it? Yes. And if we have the means, why not? So it's the same way. The wisdom and the scriptures, the knowledge that we get from it is broken down. It's made easier for us. And that's the only thing that I'm going to say is not changed, will not change, and will stay in the wellness industry. Because the wellness industry's foundation is based on wisdom and knowledge gained through the holy books and the scriptures.
100%. And I remember, like, constantly taking my personal example, whenever you are stuck in a thought.
Yes.
I never used to kind of believe in it, but I always had faith or hope. But somebody told me that whenever you are feeling stuck, or whenever you're going through something and you don't have answers,
right,
you just open the Bhagavad Gita, you'll get the answer.
Yes.
And it's not like whatever you think, just open that page.
Correct.
And shockingly, yes, it is true.
It is.
You're going through some thought, and I think you guys should try it, because whenever you open the page, it's exactly what
you've been thinking.
And it was amusing, like, me to think about it, at how deeper level knowledge is there, which is so relevant to the problems of the current times, right? So
yeah, there would be people who say not every problem has a solution, but I say every problem has a solution if you refer back to the wisdom and the knowledge that you're going to get from the holy books and the scriptures. And you will get it.
Yes, you will.
You will get it. It's as simple as that. So the wellness industry is based completely, whether it's the Western philosophy, whether it's the Indian philosophy, whether it's the East Asian philosophy, everything comes from these scriptures.
Dimple, my next question would be something which is highly talked about, but I want you to break it down into very simple aspects, because I love how you are explaining things which are so relatable and relevant to everyone to easily understand.
Right.
So what does actually manifestation mean?
Oh, this question is something that we see everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
What exactly is manifestation?
Manifestation, in simple words, is aligning your desires, thoughts, and actions together. It's as simple as that. Just like a car moves on all four wheels, manifestation needs everything to be aligned for it to move smoothly. So manifestation is aligning your desires with your thoughts, words, actions, so that you can get whatever you're manifesting. It's as simple as that. Simple. You want to, example, you want to buy a car. What are you going to do? Are you just going to sit there wishing, praying, meditating, oh my God, I need a car, I need a car, I need a car?
No, I'll have to work hard to kind of practically achieve it and have a positive outlook towards it, that this is what, according to me.
Yes. And I'll just add to that, your thought, your action has to be aligned. So you can be working very hard and you're like saving your money and you're like, I want to buy this car and I'm going to do this. But if you're going to believe deep within that you don't deserve this car, how are you ever going to buy it? You will always feel the money is not enough. You'll constantly be in the lack mindset. So what happens is, when we say the alignment of your thoughts, actions, is because when your thought frame is positively aligned, then your action also moves
in that direction.
It doesn't feel like you're working towards your manifestation. And that is something where people give up in manifestation. So manifestation is aligning your desires with your thoughts, actions, and moves so that you get the desired outcome. So now if you're positive about it. So every day you're waking up and you're like, I'm going to work harder and I'm going to achieve this. Along with that, you're also thinking about, which car you're going to buy. So let's say you're you're Googling pictures of the car, or you're like researching, and then through that process, like maybe I like this, maybe I like that. So the joy of even selecting what you want is bringing in a positive energy to you that yes, I can do this. As opposed to when you're working for it, you're like, oh my God, this looks too expensive. Oh my God, how will I do this? And what if this happens? So what is happening is your energy is again draining. And then somewhere midway, you're like, this manifestation process is not working. So manifestation is aligning the desires with your thoughts, actions, and your moves in a joyous way.
Yeah.
So when it's joy, it doesn't feel manifestation. It doesn't feel work. You're just getting up and enjoying the process.
Interestingly, I also remember, like, we had a discussion about a few things, and you also said that it requires letting go of attachment with the manifestation. And you gave a very beautiful example of it, that when you bake a cake, you're not constantly going to keep opening the oven to see if it is cooked or not. You're going to let it cook and not be attached to the outcomes. It is going to come if you put in your 100% in.
Correct.
Would you like to talk about that? Because that was such a wonderful and simple example you gave about not attaching yourself to.
So manifestation includes a strong part of believing in yourself, letting go of the time process.
Correct.
And when I mean time process, letting go of the thought frame. So example, I'm going to take the same example. You're baking a cake. Now, I like my cake a little darker. So I want a dark chocolate truffle cake.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use the recipe that you've given me, which is of a sweet chocolate cake.
Yeah.
So what is happening is, I've used your recipe, but now what is my desire? Dark. I want to bake a dark chocolate cake.
Correct.
Now I've taken the recipe of a sweet chocolate cake.
Yeah.
So I've mixed the ingredients. The cake is looking fluffy. I've put it into the oven. But in the process that I'm watching it bake, I'm just like, it's not looking dark. It's not enough dark that, I want a dark, because we know how a dark chocolate cake looks. So what we're doing, we're opening, we're checking, we're putting the fork in to check if the cake is baked enough. So what is happening is, we've already put energy of, I don't know if it's going to work out.
Yeah.
We're putting energy of doubt. We're putting energy of, impatience. And then the cake is not baked great. And when the cake is somewhat ready, the texture's off, the flavor is off, you're just like, what's happening? Like, is the cake even baked?
Yeah.
Everything's a mess.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when you're manifesting with somebody else's desired.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm
That's
baking the dark chocolate cake, I'm using a dark chocolate cake recipe. I've used the recipe of a dark chocolate cake. I've put it into bake, and I've let it sit for 20 minutes because my recipe says keep it in for 20 minutes at 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Now, while the cake is baking, it's waiting time. Am I constantly 20 minutes looking at the cake? Is it rising?
No.
Is it 1 centimeter?
No.
Is it 1 inch? No, I've left it 20 minutes to bake, and I'm busy making my icing. Because as soon as the cake is baked, I have to put icing on it.
Yeah.
So 20 minutes later, we've removed the cake. We've not even bothered to fork it to check if it's ready, because my recipe says that. So I have trust in my recipe that I've got the right recipe. And I've put the ingredients correctly, and my cake is going to bake.
Correct.
And I have no doubt about it. So there is no self-doubt. Now, while you're busy making the icing, you've done everything, it's ready. Once your cake is you've got the cake out of the oven, you've iced it up, you've put it into the freezer, it's well set and it's ready.
Yeah.
And when you cut it and you have it, and you're like, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. Now, how many times have we caught ourselves saying, wow, this is exactly what I wanted? Because we've enjoyed the process of manifestation. We know exactly what we want, number one. Most people lose it at number one because they don't know what they want. They feel they want this, then the next time they feel they want this, then they want a mix of everything. So you need to be clear on what you want. The art of waiting and surrendering is the time when it's being baked. So you know in that waiting time is what you do out of the waiting time. So you don't wait there waiting for your manifestation to show up. It's like saying you've planted a seed and you're waiting 5 years to see has the tree come up. No, you're going to be busy doing other things. You're going to be watering it. You're going to be giving it the right nutrients. You're doing everything that you need to see it grow. So similarly, when you give the right nutrients to your manifestation is when you will get the results of it. And we know that even when planting a tree, you need to surrender, you need to let go, you need to wait in patience, in love, in understanding, in self-trust that yes, you know it's going to come up. 100%. Yes, you know your cake is going to be baked well. So similarly, surrendering is an important journey on manifestation, because when you're manifesting, surrendering is nothing but letting go and allowing nature to take its own course of time. So if there is a baking process, similarly, if you've manifested something, like earlier we were talking about the car, what is the waiting process is you having to collect the funds. That is your waiting process. Are you doing it with enjoyment and with trust, or are you doing it with frustration and oh my god, stress, when am I going to achieve it, when am I going to achieve it, stress? So the art of surrendering is also the art of knowing how to wait and do the right thing simultaneously.
I agree with this mindset, because that's so important for your, even if you're working on your day-to-day basis, you are just kind of doing simplest of things. This mindset and this state of mind is so important for achieving anything, or just being okay with yourself and enjoying the whole process, right? When we say enjoying the process, I'd like to talk about other people now, like beyond me. So here we've often seen in our society or in our communities that people project their insecurities on us constantly. And it's not us, it's their insecurities coming in different ways and forms and energy transfers, as you say. So what is your take on this?
I feel this happens all the time. We're just more aware about it because of the self-work that we all are doing. And I'd say it's normal because the people who are projecting their insecurities, and you don't even know that. They're unaware.
That's so true.
So it's up to you to say, do I want this or do I not want this? And filter out. Certain things we don't have to stay unfiltered. Certain things we have to filter out. So when people are trying to project their insecurities on you, all I tell my clients, my friends, is that when you know that this was not meant for you, just let it go. Don't hover around it. Don't make it a part of your energy, because then that you're making it a reality. The minute you're seeding it into your energy field, you're making it a reality. So if people are projecting their insecurities on you, let them be. Don't even comment on them. You know yourself, you know it's not part of you. Say goodbye to it. That's exactly what I tell everyone.
That's so important. Like the let them thing. Like just let them. What is that one thing which people assume about you is not true?
Oh, wow. I love this question and I get it all the time. So people think just because I'm spiritual, I have it all together. I don't get angry. I don't get frustrated. I'm not impatient, but that's far from the truth. I am a human. And I go through all the set of emotions. I go through everything. And the idea is that just because spirituality is not my identity. And I am a human and I'm having a spiritual experience in this life. So we all are doing the same thing. And that's where people somehow they just be like, oh, you're spiritual, you shouldn't cry. Oh, you're spiritual, you shouldn't get upset. Oh, you're spiritual, why is money important to you? And I'm like, I'm a human being, I want all this. The idea is that is where people go wrong, that they made spirituality my identity and my individuality. And I'm just like, I'm human as well. Just like each one of you over here, I go through the whole roller coaster of emotions and gamut of experiences as well.
And that I think helps others also, because you share your own experiences and then you go through it and you exactly know that what that other person might be going through.
Correct.
So I think that really adds value to what the conversations you strike with others. So that's what I think about your balance of being a human and also having that deeper level of connection.
Correct.
Now this one phrase, I'm going to read it out for you. If subconscious is like soil, what seeds are we unknowingly planting through what we watch, say, and surround ourselves with?
Again, a lovely, lovely question. Often misunderstood, often not even in people's awareness. Our subconscious, like you said, is soil. What is happening now? Constant consumption. Constant consumption with no stillness, with no awareness. So when we watch reels or when we are watching shorts on YouTube or TikTok, you know how we would watch news channels and it'd be like, Kya aap ye kar rahe ho? Reels is doing exactly that to you. Have you visited this country? Have you eaten at this restaurant? Have you worn this outfit? So what is happening is, and at that point of time, you are not conscious. Like I said earlier, we're scrolling. We're not consciously putting our mind. I'm talking to you and I'm scrolling. So what is happening is, you're in your relaxed state subconsciously. So everything has bypassed your conscious mind, and the conscious mind is where you decide what's right, what's wrong, how to make this decision, your fears, your insecurities, your good ego, your bad ego. That's all happening on the conscious level. So when you're watching this, everything is bypassed and you're like directly reached the unconscious. So what is happening is, you are not even aware that you've planted this. Now you're having let's say I'm having a conversation with you, and you and me are friends, and you're a very dear friend to me, and I'm completely part of your conversation. I'm listening, I'm present, I'm conscious. Now at this time also, what happens, because I feel so strongly for you as a friend, my emotions take over my conscious thinking, and somewhere your emotions lie in your subconscious and deeper conscious level. So again, I've bypassed the conscious and I've gone directly to my subconscious. So if she's had a bad experience, that bad experience is getting registered into my subconscious without even me knowing. So when I'm going through a good experience, it's like coming and banging me. But this has happened. It might not have happened to you, but it's registered. Your subconscious is like your memory data of a computer. Everything is getting stored.
100%.
So whether it's done consciously, whether it's done unconsciously, knowingly, unknowingly, that is why they say that time in the day, when you cleanse your energy, when you sit in silence, when you actually take time out and spend with yourself, you understand because you're going a little deeper, you're asking the conscious level to just, surrender, get into subconscious. And it's all a natural process. It's considered to be work today because we're not in tune with our natural process. But if you get in tune with your natural process, Devyani, you will know that it's not a task. It's something that just happens naturally.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is what happens. We're not aware when we're seeding them. And then it just constantly grows because you're taking care of yourself. You're doing everything. It just constantly takes seed. And then the seed gets into a full-fledged plant, and then internally you're just like, this is not what's happening to me, but why am I experiencing this? So there's a mismatch of your emotions, the experience you're going through, and your thought frame.
Yeah. And that gives birth to overthinking, I feel.
That gives birth to everything. Your negative self-talk, your overthinking patterns, your stress levels, your body going into misalignment, because the mind,
body
and soul is not aligned.
Yeah.
And then that's where everything, the energy chakras are misaligned. So then there is havoc. And then everything happens. And everyone's like mental health issues. And I'm like,
you have to
let's make it come back to being simple. Simple. Less is more. We're moving into simplicity again.
Yeah.
From where we had overconsumption, we're moving back to less.
So Dimple, when you spoke about manifestation, you spoke about the subconscious mind, the power of subconscious mind. I've also learned about how important are positive self-talk and affirmations, which we call them in today's day and age. And talking nicely to yourself in the mirror. I remember watching Jay Shetty and Kendall Jenner's interview, and she also saying that I've put up my picture of my younger self in my bathroom, and every time I go in my bathroom, I see that how much I have grown, and how grateful I am to that little kid who was me. That has helped me come this far. So why these affirmations are so important in your life? Because in my personal life, when I was at rock bottom or when I was going through a lot of things, this and the constant work we've done has helped me a lot. And why this is so important to not look as a work, but as a daily self-love practice. And a gratitude towards yourself and the life which you have with you.
So see, what really happens is it takes 21 days to form a habit. Now, words of affirmation is something where we're teaching you to affirm it into a habit. Now, when you were a kid, if your mom told you, you have to wake up and brush your teeth every day, would you do it?
No.
You had to be told time and again, continuously. Your mom had to keep wiring it into you that, you know, when you wake up, you have to brush your teeth, you have to take a shower, you have to eat breakfast. So what is happening is we're conditioning us to make it a habit. So when you say words of affirmations, what you're doing is you're making it a habit to believe in it. That's why they say when you do affirmations, do it for 21 days, because at the end of 21 days, it's part of you. Your body records it and it becomes a new reality. So words of affirmation, gratitude, and even like you said, looking into the mirror, it's because we cannot. When was the last time if you cannot confront yourself, how are you even looking? The mirror is part of confrontation. So when you look into the mirror, what's happening is you're seeing your shadow self. You're seeing things that you don't like. And that's where we go wrong. Because every time we kind of have been made to believe that we need to constantly improve ourselves. We constantly need to keep going. We are on this train. We are on to somewhere. But when was the time we really took time and just sat down? Like we've arrived at the station. Now we have to get down and enjoy where we've been. So that is really what it's doing. That when you look at yourself into the mirror, you're just saying, you know what? I've made it. Like I'm happy to be where I am. So depending on what you're using your word of affirmations for, it's basically just telling you to appreciate where you've come and not be on that constant rat race again, not be constantly on a never-ending train journey, because every train journey has stations, has stops. So it's about appreciating it. And also it's saying that don't have blinkers towards life. Look around. We are in the generation where, you know, we could be sitting in a train with a beautiful scenic view on both sides, but so we don't even know what we've missed. We literally don't know what we've missed. So this is why, like I said, every generation is going to tweak it to make it work, suiting to what is needed right now. So words of affirmations, gratitude practices, mirror self-talk is all on its rise. And Louise Hay specifically spoke about this in her book, Not Today. She spoke about it years and decades back, knowing that this is where we are going to be. And who knows, 50 years down the line, this is going to not even exist and there will be some other technique. But the thing is, it is going to be reinvented time and again to suit what this generation needs.
100%.
To see what we need. We are a world of selfies. We're the world who's constantly obsessed with how we look.
Yeah.
And still what we're doing is external perfection without really wanting to look internally, you know.
Yeah, my dark circles.
So it's something like, you know, we want to camouflage it. We want to look into the mirror. We want to take great selfies. But internally you're like, no, I can't do this. So yeah, that is making you look at your internal mirror, basically.
I think I need to work on that because you're laughing.
Yeah, but it's a process.
So, good laugh. No, I keep telling them that please perfect my whatever.
Yeah, I think we all have that one thing where like...
Yeah. So, again, on this, we constantly at my age, now it's like very chill with my parents and everything. It's just like going through a lot of... People constantly ask people of my age the question, which is like the hot topic of every household when the kids are of that age, is why aren't you getting married? And that question is asked apart from the parents, like who's who, like I can't name them, but guess it, guys. So the communities and the people when you go to another wedding, so you are targeted. So is it a projection of the society, or is it like something which is truly inculcated in our being?
So I'm going to say it's both. It's something that for generations there's been a set pattern. You study until a particular age. Then you get married. You study until a particular age, you start working, you get married, you have family, you have kids. You get those kids married. And then maybe if you have time, you start moving towards, like slowing down, getting into looking internally into a meditative practice, into some kind of, slowness. Now, what has happened is this has become a tape recorder, like a record. Now, if we're recording this, this episode that we're recording, it's going to stay. So what happens is that thing has been recorded into people's mind and it's so tightly ingrained. It's so tightly ingrained that for them, it's become blinkers. They don't see anything else besides this. So if by a particular age, you're not married, the question is, when are you getting married? Oh my God, why are you getting married? Do you have a problem, which is why you're not getting married?
That's the...
That's
a hot topic.
And you get married, when are you going to have kids? Why are you not having kids? Again, do you have a problem, which is why you're not having kids? So it's a constant tape recorder. It's a stuck tape recorder. Now what happens is, if people like... a lot of people like you who've chosen the unconventional path. Now, why it's unconventional? Because it's something that's different from what society is doing. And let's say you've taken your time. You're like, no, I also want to build my dreams. I want to be... You have your certain goals. And once you're like, okay, with time, I want to find the right person. I just don't want to get married because of an age group, societal pressure or whatever. Now, for them, this is a new concept. It's like you're breaking stereotypes. It's like, this music sounds different. I've never heard it. I don't even understand the language of this. So it's a complete disconnect. They will not, even if you try and explain to them, they will not understand it. So it's, like I said, it's both. It's perceived and it's unconventional.
Correct.
And which is what you're going to continue seeing. A lot of people will be like, why didn't you do this at this particular age, and why are you doing it at this particular age? Everything is changing. It's the people who keep up to the change and the unconventional path, which will few years down the line become conventional. Everyone's going to be walking that path eventually.
100%.
There's so many people who don't even want to get married. They're like, we're not going to get married. And then they'll be like, who's going to take care of you in your old age? Everything has a double question to it, has a sub question to it. So it's perceived and it's set.
one Gen Z question for you.
Yes.
I just was thinking out of the blue right now. What is your take of, like the terms situationship and breadcrumbing in today's age, and why is it toxic or not toxic?
So completely toxic.
Yeah.
100% toxic. And like I said, it's again an easy way out to not take accountability, responsibility, and more importantly, a way to break convention.
Yeah.
So you're like telling yourself in your mind, oh, I'm in a situationship, or this person is breadcrumbing, but you know what? I like this because it kind of takes away the pressure of the other things I have to deal with. So subconsciously, unconsciously, you're enjoying it, which is why you're still part of the situationship. You're enjoying it at some level because you don't know how to break free otherwise. So yes, toxic, because toxic, you don't know what's happening, and toxic to yourself as well, because you want to pick another part, but you're not. So you're getting stuck into something that's not true, that's not real, that's imaginary, that's an illusion. Because so just to simplify it, Gen Z has come up with different terms. But
you can't keep up with all the terms.
You cannot keep up with it. It's toxic. Toxic to everyone.
It's been a beautiful episode, and this I had kept for the last, this question, and I want to read it out again because it has multiple layers, and no better person than you to explore it with us and help us explain what exactly does it mean. So my question was, if your thoughts were a room, what would that room feel like most of the days? Overthinking, comparison, or peace?
Personally, to me, I think I go through different phases. Some days I wake up in complete peace. Some days my mind is racing and I'm constantly overthinking. But the beauty about it is, because of all the work, the practice that I do, I quickly know how to bring peace back into it. So it's simple. If this is my room full of thoughts and I don't enjoy being in it, I feel like it's a little cluttered, it's a little dusty, I'm going to quickly release it. So I'm going to quickly cleanse it so that I can come back to a room full, to a thought full of peace, harmony and happiness. And it's taken me a long time to do this, but I'm also going to say that some days, just how we enjoy sitting in a room where there's clutter, I am going to say it, some days I just sit over there overthinking and be like, I don't want peace today, I want this clutter in my head. Sometimes it's the process of not being perfect all the time, which is what we have to do. Because we've got so, like you said, we romanticized healing. So perfection, like everything has to be perfect. No, so some days, just like how you have clothes lying in the room, some days I let my thoughts just walk around in the room. Like if this is my room of thoughts, okay, you can think it's a garden and walk around. Because then what happens is, what I'm doing in the process is I'm not identifying it as good thoughts, bad thoughts, negative thoughts, or positive thoughts. I'm just saying these are my thoughts. It's okay to be there. On days I need you, I do need you. So let me just allow it to be. But most of the days, I'd say I'm happy to be in a peaceful, harmonious thought frame. It does take time. It does take work. But it's a good space to be in. I've experienced all sorts of thoughts. So.
And one thing about you also, which is very beautiful, that when someone is helping you heal the position you are in, they're like example of a gym trainer, they're going to be behind you to get into the space. You have to be consistent in that growth. But I've known you and you've been someone, you're like, okay, on few days, if you can't meditate, it's completely fine. Just respect your energy and respect your thoughts and just let it be. It's okay if you can't do it at the end. And that kind of connects to the perfection. Like it's okay if you are not perfect in the process. And that also gives you that, that graph of consistency. It's not same for everyone. So that I really value about you as a person, that you don't don't pressure someone to get into that process, because that makes you love that process even more.
Yes.
Otherwise, you get scared of, constantly trying to achieve it. And that sometimes in meditation also, it goes wrong with people because they find the pressure of, doing it.
Constantly doing. See,
yeah.
Like
it connects back to that
the
point.
First question we started with, we're constantly wanting to do something. So then what happens is we've made it tedious for us.
Correct.
And Devyani, perfection is, there is no such term as perfection.
True.
That truly exists, because what's perfect to you is not perfect to me.
Yeah.
And if they always say that this you must have heard, everyone must have heard this, our fingerprints are not the same. So if on your own hand, your 5 fingers have different fingerprints, on any day, how can you be perfect?
True.
Your version of perfection, yes, you can live up to your version of perfection if that's what you want to do. But what's perfect to you might not be perfect for him.
Correct.
And he'd be like, so you're constantly chasing perfection.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening even with ourselves. We keep pressurizing ourselves to be perfect, but our definition of perfection also keeps changing.
Absolutely. I also feel that I have a habit, I used to, and I'm working on it, of assuming things sometimes. I have like a habit of, if something, example, if a text is not coming from Abhishek, and then I'll assume scenarios of, why.
Scenarios.
why
like our mind has gone in all directions.
And then the reality is something else only.
Yeah.
So that also I've tried to work on the baking process of waiting for that person to reply.
Correct.
And actually understand that what that person is trying to say, then assuming that Abhishek is actually ghosting or doing
I love how the Gen Z words have become part of our day-to-day life.
Yeah, so he must be studying, or he must be in his exam.
Yes.
But I can't assume things, right?
Correct.
About what he's doing. So I need to give time. And then, like you said, appreciate the mess of thoughts I might be having in that moment.
So I'll tell you also why the rise of fake assumptions has started, because we live in an instant world, completely instant world. You want to order chips, you have Blinkit. You want to send a parcel,
5-minute delivery.
5-minute delivery.
Yeah.
You want an answer to a question, you put it on Google, you get an immediate answer. These days, to the extent people don't even wait to go for a doctor's consultation. There's an ache. Google, why am I having this ache?
Yeah.
So the thing is, without realizing it, we've put ourselves into the process of creating fake assumptions. So we've got habitual to it now. So what is happening is, you have a pain.
Yeah.
You've already gone to Google and you've checked the symptoms, the this, the that, everything. So you've already created this in your head. Now, by the time you go to the doctor, you've created this whole mountain in your head. Oh my God, this, and the doctor's like, it's an ant hole. And you're like, but what about all these Google things? And then the doctor will tell you, have you come to me, or have you gone, do you want to trust Google? Example, because Google is giving you a basic, it's giving you the entire spectrum of it. Yeah. It's not checked your pain. It's telling you if these are the pain levels, this is what happens. It's giving you the good situation, the extreme bad. So we've trained our mind to get into fake assumptions. Yeah. So let's say if your Abhishek is not replying, before he actually replies, you've already created this in your head. Because we've got ourselves used to it. Yeah. And this is something, it's a difficult pattern to break.
Exactly.
Even I do that. Everyone does that. And it's because of a constant need to get immediate answers, which we get for every other thing. So imagine like a text not coming out. Like, what could go wrong? Like, what could go wrong? You know?
And we are very visual thinkers.
Yeah.
So we get into that zone.
Yeah.
There's also one side of human beings who are like, okay, there's a text, but they'll keep sitting on it for 20-30 minutes, and you know that they're sitting on it, and they'll post things on Instagram and everywhere, and they'll sit on it and they'll not reply, because that's another level of traits which people have developed.
Correct.
That's like ghosting. So it's like we are balancing things in between assumptions and ghosting, which is like
again, like
beautiful world to be in.
like I said earlier, every generation comes up with certain set of terms. We live up to it.
Yeah.
But it includes, like you said very correctly, behavioral patterns.
Yeah.
Now, initially, people had the patience to wait when, right from time, first a pigeon would send a message.
I wish we had pigeons in this era. Like, I would love to send a pigeon.
Then we
messages.
had, then you had a telegram.
Yeah.
So then you had the invent of, different forms of communication till we reached the instant communication. So at that time, what people considered patience, you cannot tell our generation to have that kind of patience. Like, wait till the pigeon goes, sends a message.
I want to try that.
I mean, I don't even think if the pigeon will be like, where? So it's part of our behavioral pattern. It's part of who we are today. And all I tell people is allow downtime.
Yeah.
Even like what you said, the term that somebody is, you're awaiting a reply from someone, but they're busy posting on Instagram. Sometimes it's a classic case of not ghosting, of just being so caught up in their own internal space that they don't even realize. Lot of people, Devyani, are posting unconsciously. You'll tell them, they will like, oh, did I just post? Like, they've posted 10 minutes back and they don't even remember they've posted 10 minutes back. So a lot of people are in this thing.
That cycle.
So, which is why they say that give time. Allow yourself to
not assume
things. And if you are if you are an overthinker, if you're someone who assumes fake situations, communication-wise, they'll always tell you, hey, I would appreciate a reply back in the next 30 minutes. So that cuts your overthinking or an assumption thing, So there are ways of moving towards it. There are ways of working around it. Power of your mind.
And the communication.
And your thoughts and the communication. But let's just say it's part of the whole social media world we live in. Instant gratification.
I think there's so much we've learned from this episode and so much we need to learn also, like takeaways and practices which we can help evolve ourselves. Now I'm going to go into a fun part, which is the rapid fire.
Okay.
And it's going to have some questions which you'll have to answer in short. And give us beautiful, what do you say? Something which is going to give like a life hack, like this is what it is to be in this state. Are angel numbers a sign from the universe or a coincidence?
Definitely sign from the universe.
I'd love to elaborate that. I don't know why this is in rapid fire, but...
Okay.
Is Buri Nazar real or just an excuse for bad luck?
Buri Nazar is real and an excuse for bad luck. It's both. It's both.
The crystals we talk about or the stones which are there, it has been there since the beginning of time.
Yes.
It's not new. Actually hold energy, or is it in our minds that help us, kind of feel soothed around?
So crystals hold energy, stones hold energy, and they're just not in our mind.
They're not in our mind.
They're just not in our mind. They do hold energy.
Is enlightenment an actual state or it's a pursuit?
It's a pursuit.
It's a pursuit. Do you believe in past lives and rebirth, or is this the only shot we've got with life?
I do believe in past lives and rebirths, but I would choose to not answer this as an either or, because I believe this could also be your last life. Who knows?
Correct, yeah.
We don't know that.
Nobody knows about that.
So I'd like to believe that if you're here, live it like it's your last life.
So when we talk about universe, or when people constantly see angel numbers reflecting like 444 or 111 or 222, and then when you really closely notice, let's say if you're in a car and you're passing by and if you see that number in your thing, and then if you're just moving past and if you see something which is very relatable or relevant to what you're thinking,
right,
and then just reflects, what is that meaning from the universe which is coming?
That's the universe catching your attention.
And how does this work?
we're constantly engaged.
Correct.
Now the universe wants you to disengage from what you're currently doing. So it will catch your attention. It will suddenly show you 111. It'll suddenly show you 444. You'll look around and you'll see a number and you'll be like, oh my God, it's the universe trying to catch your attention.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not telling you anything. It's just telling you that 1 second of the flip you do of that 1 second is catching your attention. Because when you're constantly engaged, that 1 second is so precious that we don't understand right now, because we've moved, we've got attention of something, and we've come back. So it's, if you've seen Devyani previously, there wasn't much talk about this.
No, there wasn't.
Right?
No.
With the, I've been noticing angel numbers since I'm a kid. So I'm going to talk pre-social media.
It's always been there.
It's always been there. For the ones who believe, for the ones who don't believe. Right? But it's always been there. Now what happened is, in the instant gratification era, especially of social media, people are constantly posting it also.
Correct. Yeah.
So what is happening is, when you're constantly scrolling and you see 111, you're taking that 1 second pause. And that is the gift you're giving to your body, to your mind, to your soul.
Pause, to
that
calm.
1 second pause.
Yeah.
And
that's so important.
those pauses, those 1 second pauses are like drops.
Correct.
And you know, drops, like drops of water, can create an ocean.
Yeah.
So what you're actually doing is, so what the universe is actually doing is, it's catching your attention so that you make these small seconds. It's basically like saying, they're creating something for you, like an ocean of awareness, an ocean of consciousness. So by the time you're in your journey towards stillness, towards silence, towards enlightenment, you're experiencing it even more closely, because these things
you're
have
present,
these things have already formed something deeper. It's like making it a foundation. Okay, at this time I connected, at this time I connected. So it's just catching your attention and telling you that it's important to know that we are also there, you know, and if you want us, we are there. Like they always say that you take 1 step and God will take 10 steps. It's exactly this. And if you need an answer, you are going to get an answer based on the number you're seeing. But again, it's different to each situation.
I feel it's the presence and the gratitude you feel in that moment is what truly matters.
Yes.
And that's what they are trying to guide us with. So I think that is very important. The second question was, when we talk about Buri Nazar, I don't want to coin it that way, but when you enter a room and the energy is off, you know, like you feel it, like it's been there since the very beginning of time. You feel sick or you feel weak, and those are physical symptoms. It's not in your head.
Correct.
So how do you deal with that situation, and how to identify it, and how to break free of that that whole zone? I mean, like,
so it's very simple, Devyani. In simple terms, I'm going to tell you. Today you're walking on the street, there's construction going on, and dust falls onto you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, are you going to be like, oh my God, this happened with me. This happened to me. It's bad luck. I passed through this. I'm cursed. Why am I getting dirty? And why is this happening? And this was not meant to me. Are you going to do all that? No, you're just going to go home and change your clothes. You're going to take a quick shower, depending on how much dust is there. This is exactly what people term evil eye or Buri Nazar to be. You're passing by through a room where you feel your energy is low. Either you come back and you cleanse your energy, or like I say, and I advise everyone, before you step out, surround yourself in good energy. There are ways of doing it. There are ways of protecting yourself. For lifetimes, people have worn black threads. We have black tourmaline crystals, which, you know, actually take care of your energy body. We have evil eyes that people are wearing these days. So it's on you to take care of your energy.
Correct.
And not term it to bad luck or not term it to ये मेरे साथ क्यों हो रहा है or why is this happening to me. It's going to exist. It's everywhere. And sometimes it's not necessary that people are putting buri nazar on you. Sometimes they may just be in awe of you.
Yeah.
And you are considering it buri nazar by saying, oh my God, she's jealous of me. What if someone's getting inspired by you? What if someone is like, wow, we would like to do it like how Devyani does it? That's not buri nazar.
Yeah.
That's just taking notes, taking inspiration, or, you know, like taking good energy.
Correct.
But that part also, you need to protect yourself. So, which is why I say, don't get caught up in the rigmarole of buri nazar. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
And if you feel that in spite of all of this, you still feel affected, come back and cleanse your energy. That's the best part you can do.
That's really a good takeaway from this conversation. And Dimple, I would like to ask you that if anyone wants to go through the practices or the meditation, I think you have created certain meditation tools, and I don't know how to coin that word, but different practices of meditation, healing. So how can they reach out to you? How can they follow that? Because there is an app also which you're working with. So would you like to say about anything?
What I would like to say, if you're looking out, you can reach out to me on my Instagram account, The Spiritual Wand, and I'll be available to help you and take you ahead in your journey.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Dimple, for giving us your precious time, and it has helped so many of us know ourselves better and to work towards what really matters in today's day and age. And it has been an absolute honor to have you here. And thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Devyani, for having me here. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. And I really enjoyed having this conversation with you, because I believe what you're doing through your whole podcast of Unfiltered Conversations with Devyani Pawar is just making everything so simple and effortless and part of your life that in itself is changing the consciousness around whoever's watching this. So keep up.
Thank you. Thank you.